Everyone, it's Marian from the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees. I want to play a video for you from the labor mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral that we heard on Saturday. Every year there's the Labor Day parade, and we all go to mass first at about 8:30 in the morning, and then at 9:30 we get to our respective places, and the parade starts at 10. This year it was Father Kevin Sullivan, Monsignor Kevin Sullivan, and he had a very interesting homily. Now, it was 10 minutes long, and I kind of shortened it a little bit just to squeeze it in here, but it's the points that he's making that I want you to hear. And then I'm going to come back in and I make a couple of points of my own. There were a few people that we did see at the church. Henry Garrido did show up. I did not see Harry Nispoli. I did not see Michael Mulgrew. And I don't think I saw too many of the other union presidents either. But this is an important message, and I want to play it for you now.
Those of you who are here today work day in and day out to assure is that labor and work is good. It's not fancy. It's about people being able to make enough money to pay the rent, to feed themselves and their families, to buy clothes, to make sure kids have what they need to be educated in school, and a few of the other basics. Pardon me. It's not about having enough money that you can buy your own spaceship to go to the moon. No. What you do is to make sure that work is good and decent so that people can have the basics. There are two phrases or two parts of our readings this morning which I would like to suggest are very, very important for keeping us on track. The first one, what do you possess that you have not received? The point he was making to them, be a little bit humble. Don't think that the world began with you. The things that you are taking great pride in or bragging about, you have received from others. The strength of organized labor in New York is, yes, because of those of you who are here, but it is also because of the women and men who went before us, those who are no longer with us, those who suffered and sacrificed, those who gave of themselves, whether it be in negotiating or whether it be on the front lines of doing the work, that we who sit here today are the recipients of that great legacy. And we should never forget it. And we should never forget that anything we achieve today is built on the foundation of so many people who went before us. And we should give them praise. We should thank them for what they did, and remembering that how we act today will be the legacy that those in the future years will build on. The stronger that legacy is, the more they can build an even greater future. That we do it on the backs of those who came before us. And when we act today, we realize that what we are doing needs to be good, it needs to be solid, it needs to have integrity, because it will be the foundation for your sons and your daughters to build upon in the future. But here's where it gets a little bit complicated. To pass on a legacy, we can't merely repeat what we were given. For if we do that, we betray the present and we betray the future. Jesus says, I need to do things differently, and so I would submit. Without disregarding our past, we can't merely repeat it. We have to figure out how the values of human dignity, how the values of a safe workplace, how the values of a fair wage, how the values of decent retirement, how all of that is to be done in the current environment. And we maybe need to do things differently to continue the values that are not changing. The dignity of the human person, the dignity of labor, and that may mean I need to do things a little bit different in order to be faithful to the legacy that I have received. Here's the challenge. When and what? That's the challenge. Because you stand as the most incredible beacon saying to the world, we can preserve the past and build the future. We are not wedded to the past, but we don't throw it away. We are building a world that is just and fair today. And that will be the legacy of tomorrow.
And that is the legacy of labor for tomorrow. Understand something. And he, without ever having spoken to the retirees, or myself for that matter, he makes it clear that it's understood that labor would never get rich working the way we do, working as laborists. We didn't plan on getting rich, but we were serving the public, and that we worked for the promise of having a pension, the promise of having health care, the promise of having something in a dignified manner, which is why we joined a union in the first place, which is why we are fighting as retirees to keep the promise that was made to us yesterday, a promise that you as union leaders should be maintaining, preserving, and protecting. That is really important because, like we've been saying, we gave you something to build on, Medicare. Not to privatize it, not to be diminishing your health care for raises, not to be passing on copays and diminishing your value because someone in labor relations tells you you have to give me that back if you want a raise. Cash today is not going to protect your health tomorrow. Your health insurance will. We fought for Medicare. We fought for a national health care program. We fought to protect our futures. And you should be building on that. You, as labor, should be uniting and organizing like the retirees did to make sure that the people that you are currently representing when they retire have dignity in life through their death. Their families are protected because that's what we earned and we fought for. We gave you this gift of Medicare. Our generation fought for that. You should not be throwing that away. The change that he speaks to should be that you are not diminishing your benefits. You are not diminishing your value. And maybe because the city has constantly said, oh, you have to stick to the pattern. Maybe that's the change that you need to do away with. That you, as labor, should be uniting in the MLC to help uplift all these other unions, not pit them up against each other. Maybe the change that you have to create is not that you have this weighted voting system that the two largest unions dictate to the other 100 what happens to them and diminishes their value and uplifts your own. Every union leader and every union worker has the same value. Your $300,000, $400,000 salaries today, Michael and Henry and Harry, that shouldn't be. To where you are completely removed from the people that you're representing. And so a $15 copay may mean nothing to you, but for us, it is a car payment. You should not be diminishing the value, but protecting the value that you earned. When labor relations is trying to get you to do something that they could not negotiate for 50 years, you should be asking yourselves why. Because Michael Mulgrew and Henry Garrido made the deal to encourage, get all of the MLC to give up their health care. And they too largely benefited from that. And when Michael walked away from the deal, just the end of June, he left all of you holding that bag. And yet still, he has the largest vote in the MLC. Your decisions today become your legacy. You have to protect what you were given to prepare your current employees for their retirement. Build upon that for your tomorrow, because we know that many of our children are on the job today. Their children will be on the job today because we raised them right to serve. You have to know, like the priest said, when is the right time for change and when it's not. Giving up a federal public health benefit that protects all of our health care isn't the right thing to give up. It protects you. It covers 80% of your health care. 99% of doctors in America accept it. There are rare prior authorizations to reduce and water down your health care for raises, largely for 2 unions, and some financial benefits for welfare funds for the others isn't the way. Change the way you're doing things. Make them better. Be stronger. Uplift each other. When one union doesn't have a contract for 5 years, you should all be pressuring the city to do it, to resolve that labor contract out of solidarity. I understand you can't repeat the past, but you should be embracing it and you should be using it to your benefit. We're urging you, please, protect your Medicare benefit. Do not allow it to be privatized. Further privatizing Medicare will more quickly deplete the Medicare trust. You will be burdening people with access to care because they won't be able to get the care that they need or finding doctors that accept the plan. That is your challenge. You have to make sure that as a unit, the Municipal Labor Committee, if you're going to continue to exist, that you protect the benefits that protect your people so that they have dignity, that they have protection, which is why we all joined the union, like I said. It was very interesting to hear this homily. And no, I'm not a church-going Catholic anymore. But I sat there with the labor around me who all knew who I was. And they were all in agreement that this homily, this sermon, was made for us. Listen to what was told to you, because this is really important. You only have one crack at this, because once you walk back your benefits, chances are you'll never get them back. And if you do, at what cost? Protect yourselves. Protect the legacy of labor before you and prepare today's labor for tomorrow. And protect your Medicare. Have a great day, everyone.